about asset allocation and inheritance of high net worth individuals. And because I put some in Chinese, but I can talk in English, whatever. Okay, what family, usually most family look, what you looking for? Basically, most families spend most of money on house, on education, on retirement. And the money where they're putting is usually banking in the bank and Wall Street. Wall Street for the retirement, a lot of people put in 401k and stock market, mutual fund, a bond, or whatever. And a lot, of course, Chinese people like house. One house, two house, three house. And today's seminar, a lot of real estate. I will switch a little bit to other things. Okay. Then everything we're looking for is looking for what? Your financially, your asset growth. And also you want to avoid risk. Also, another thing, you want to save tax. About tax, they have a lot of knowledge in the tax. If you know how to legally save tax, that's going to be big win. Okay. So for the high net worth, this Chinese no matter. Okay. For the high net worth, this is regular people. For the high net worth, especially for the high net worth individuals, they want to have a asset around the world, especially in the United States. A lot of people have working out United States. Also, they send kids to United States to study and immigrate to the United States. So the most important asset is the dollar asset. Maybe next time, please. So where this asset put? Should they just put in the bank? The interest is too low. Should they invest in asset, in a bond and mutual fund or stock? Yeah, maybe partial of that, but it's too risky. So everything like you want to avoid risk, then you have to be in the bank or real estate. But if you want to looking for growth, you cannot avoid the risk. You cannot get everything. And also, house. The house we're talking about, you live in the house and also invest of the house. Real estate we're talking a lot in this afternoon. You can invest some part of in real estate. I think the real estate it's more stable, less risk than the stock market, but also they have a liquidity. It's not very liquidable, right? And also compared to stock, overall appreciation it's not that good. 2009, the Nobel Prize winner in economics, he said the overall real estate appreciation it's almost like an inflation rate. It's about 3%. In the past couple years, maybe a little bit increased too much, and especially maybe around the Boston area, Cambridge, Boston, Brookline, or even Western, they increase a lot. But if you include all the Massachusetts, it's not that. Western Massachusetts not increase that much. It depends on the area, and also depends on the period. If some certain times increase too much, they have to draw back to the track. Okay. So, but then next one is the insurance in U.S. insurance. Usually we call it like life insurance, because life insurance is not only for the life protect the family also. Nowadays, life insurance is kind of a multifunction vehicles. It's investment vehicle, and also first is a protection vehicle, then is an investment vehicle. And another big thing is huge tax saving tools. So they can provide all this kind of multi-function, protect your asset, and you can use it as a kids' education. You can use your retirement fund as a, like annuity, and also certain life insurance. It's index-related linked product. They have a floor protection. If the market crash, maybe 40%, or in 2008, they won't crash. They protect it in zero. Of course, if you have a lot, you can inherit to the next generation. It's most efficient tools. And what's the advantage of the U.S. Life insurance? Basically, it's more mature. It's the history is long. It's almost more than 200 years, and also it's most cheapest compared to Hong Kong, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, China. It's U.S. Insurance is most cheapest one, and also the growth potential is much higher. Of course, especially for non-resident United States, U.S. citizen, non-U.S. citizen or non-resident of U.S. residents, it's especially have a big advantage of that. Because as a foreigner, if you invest real estate in the United States, your estate tax exemption only $60,000. So everything you have to pay estate tax. But if you invest in life insurance in the United States, they have huge. You don't have to pay income tax. You don't have to pay capital gain tax. You don't have to pay estate tax. And plus, it's not participated. The CIS is a common reporting system. Nobody knows in Chinese government. They cannot know. They cannot track your asset. Okay, I mentioned about the inheritance or transfer your asset to next generation. We have to mention about trust. Trust basically have three things. At first, you have to have a grantor to set up the trust. And also you need a trustee and a beneficiary. It's just like a legal contract, basically. Then you can put the all kind of cash, real estate, stock, bond, company, whatever, all kind of things into the trust. They have different kind of trusts. Two major things is we're talking about is revocable trust or irrevocable trust. Also, we have we don't use a lot of like slabs. The other things we don't talk too much because it's all very rich people. They probably donate or something. And irrevocable trust, you can be like a grantor, trustee, beneficiary could be the same person, and you don't have to set up it's the same Social Security. You don't have other EIN. You don't have to set up a Social Security like ID numbers. And irrevocable trust, you have to. They have an individual. Like a code for you have to report by itself, and since it's irrevocable, that means this property in this trust it's not belong to you. It's belong to the trust, and basically it's protect the asset and also separate the asset from you to avoid the estate tax. You cannot change. Things are irrevocable. That's why you cannot change. slide is called spouse lifetime access trust. I just mentioned sometimes you can, like a spouse, set up each other. Basically, husband set up like a trust, and the beneficiary is wife and kids, and the wife will set up a trust. Beneficiary is husband, kids. But in this way, so the spouse can take some asset from this trust, but yourself you cannot. But the spouse will take the money from the trust. Basically, you can give the money to the other spouse to use. So this basically life insurance is a huge tool for the wealth transfer, and the most efficient, and the cost is very less. This is one example about the survivorship. Basically, example for 40 years old male and 40 years old females couples. One example is they pay every year like almost 175,000, pay 10 years, and they can get the 20 million for death benefit, almost more than like 11 times for the transfer. And this is it's not joint. The other one is jointly, like two couple jointly. So you have to both die, then you can get it. This is a simple, like a 40 years of male. If he pay like 10 years, pay like 70 each year, 700, he get the 5 million, almost like 5 million. Seven times of gun. If they pay average, like yeah, if he want to pay 5 years, pay 120, almost like eight times the gun. You pay the more you pay earlier, so you less money, and you have a high 更高的杠杆。High leverage. The other one is just for the major focus on the for the leverage and the transfers. Of course, this one, if you put more, like before, like also is 5 million, but the 70 is 60, right? Here, if I put 125 for 10 years, then totally it's 1.25. Seems only like 4 times leverage. But the thing is, I want to use this as a whole life deals. You can avoid the risk because of zero protection for all, and also growth linked with index. And you don't have to pay capital gain tax. And also, if you plan well, also avoid the estate tax. So for example, he put 1.25 million, and next, like then 50 years old, 51 years old, this couple have kids. They put like 100K each year for the education. After that, after retired 65 years old, 66, every year withdraw like 330. If he like until 95, he withdraw like almost 10. It's 10 million, and still have 2 million left. So it's basically 12 million, and I only paid like 120, 12 more than a little bit more than 12 million, and it's only put premium 1.25 million, 10 times, and no tax. Don't worry about the market crash. No worry market crash. No worry about tax. Nothing. You don't have to think about the hurricane come. You don't have to think about the toilet leaking. Okay, this is real estate. I don't want to worry about that. And also, if I don't use that, I have a lot left to my next generation. If I use it, I can use this as a whole life. So basically, this is, I think, it's the cost, very cost related and high leverage financial tool. And I just mentioned that in the United States, the federal estate and gift exemption in this year is 13.61 million. It's pretty big. The couples almost like 27 millions. But that can be changed on January 1st, 2026. It's only 1 year and 3 months. After that, maybe around at least drop the half of it, probably 6 to 7 million. So for the federal, if you have maybe 1.3 million, you have to think about arrange that. But if you're living in these 16 states, about 13 states have a real estate tax, and 6 states have inheritance tax. And one state have both, I think it's Maryland. Yeah, Maryland have both estate tax and inheritance tax. So Massachusetts, for example, Massachusetts right now have 2 million exemption. Before last year, October 4th, they changed to 2 million. After so many years lobbying, before Massachusetts and Oregon have the lowest exemption, only 1 million. So any people living in Massachusetts, think about it. If you have assets of 2 million, if a couple have 4 million, you have to arrange this. Otherwise, you have to pay 16%, up to 16%, easily up to 16% estate tax. And another thing I have to mention that is, if you, like me, because I want to avoid the estate tax, I moved to New Hampshire in 2021. Even I'm a New Hampshire resident, I don't have estate tax. But if I have a real estate invested in Massachusetts, I still need to pay. If more than 4 million, I still have to pay Massachusetts asset tax. So it's better to invest somewhere without tax. Florida, California, okay? Don't die in Massachusetts. And don't invest too much in Massachusetts. Okay. Also another annual gift exemption. This year is 18,000. If you have some asset, not too much, but you still want to avoid estate tax, use this gift tax. Give your kids, buy an insurance premiums, put this premium into the insurance policy. Let the asset growth within the insurance policy, give them a bright future or foundation for their future life. Use this every year, 18,000. Okay, so basically, in conclusion about trust, is like basically revocable trust, family trust, that to basically is avoid probate. That's the most important purpose. And transfer your asset to the people you want to transfer. Otherwise, probation takes time, maybe half year to 3 years, even longer. And also you have to pay like 5 to 6% cost. And if you want to set up a irrevocable trust, you have to evaluate your asset. If your asset in Massachusetts, if more than 4 million, you have to arrange it. If in other states, more than probably 1.3 million, we will see who's going to be next president. If Trump will be president, maybe it's going to be extended to higher. If still Democrat, probably definitely going to be cut half of it. So basically, irrevocable trust is separate your asset. It's not separate your asset and for the asset protection. And another thing is a lot of See, basically, other people saying will is can avoid the probate. No. If you only set up a will, no, you have to set up a trust. Okay. And a lot of people thinking, oh, I'm not rich, I don't need to set up a trust. Actually, it's not. Everyone here probably needs to set up a trust. Because in Massachusetts, I only have 25,000. If you have a house, you need to set a trust. Otherwise, your house cannot transfer to your kids smoothly. They cannot get this house. They need to go through probate. A lot of people, I have too many people think, okay, I put my house, I put my asset into my irrevocable. Then all these things don't need to pay asset tax. Actually, it's totally wrong. Anything put in irrevocable is counted a gift, and the gift plus the asset total you cannot part more than exemption number. For example, if I have house 10 million, you put in an irrevocable trust. If Massachusetts only have 4 million, you have to pay 6 million now for the estate tax. And then later, after you die, you have nothing left for the exemption. Okay? A lot of people, Chinese especially, want to say, okay, I have a lot of house. They like house. I have friends around me, they like house. They say, okay, I put house into irrevocable trust. See, all 5 disadvantage. If you put into the irrevocable trust, put the house. For example, your house buy 2 million and now have 10 million. So if you put into irrevocable trust, they can't give gift 10 million, not 2 million. But then after you die, your kids sell the house, they count 2 million as a base, not 10 million. They lost the step up. Okay, and also you lost control for the house. If you give the irrevocable trust, someday your kids is a trustee, and your kids say, okay, I don't want to give it to you, and you cannot live in this house. You totally lost control. And also, put in the irrevocable trust, it's very difficult to get the loan. In bank won't don't like to give the loan to them. Plus another thing, if you put the invest house into irrevocable trust, invest house basically you want to generate a cash flow, right? Anything in irrevocable trust generated income. The income tax is huge, more than 15,200. You have to pay highest tax bracket is 37%. Usually, for individual people like me, I have to make like a 730,000 to pay 37. But in irrevocable trust, if you have a rental income say 100K, you have to pay 37%. Who willing to pay? So usually people don't put the house, investment house into an irrevocable trust. That means you try to avoid the estate tax, but you pay more income tax, you pay more like capital gain tax in the future. You lost the step up basis. You lost a lot. So you have to arrange.
Question. So now, if you don't put it in an irrevocable trust, where did you put the real estate in living trust?
Living trust. Living trust is avoid probate, but you cannot avoid estate tax. So be prepared. If you have too many houses, be prepared to pay the estate tax. But how can you pay the estate tax? You have to some right away to cash. What's best to life insurance? If you die, 2 weeks later, you can get a big chunk of money to pay that money, then you can get the inherited to your next generation. You think about how much house you have, then you think about how much estate tax you will pay. You have to set up a life insurance to have that money. Otherwise, you have to have in your bank so much money. Leverage, use life insurance. Leverage, use life insurance to have the gain and don't have any risk. So this is a lot of Chinese people around me, they have a question. They usually like to buy house for the kids, and they just put the kids jointly buy, or like just put the kids on their deed. Actually, you cannot do that. You have to file the tax return 709. Basically, if you buy 1 million house with your kids, basically if you only put your kids' name, basically you give the 1 million to their kids. And if you jointly, you basically give 500 to your kids, 500K to your kids. You have to file. If you don't file, IS is chasing you. Okay. It basically, they will have some penalty on you. And another thing is, how do you transfer your real estate to your kids? It's better as a gift before you die or after, like after you die. It's better. It's a question. The answer is should be after you die to give the kids, because if you put the house into the revocable trust, it's have a step up basis. For example, if you buy house for 1 million, at that time it is 5 million. If your house inheritance is 5 million, his cost base is 5 million. If he sell it like 8 million, he only pay the difference of 5 million, 8 million. It's not from the beginning like 1 million. Okay, that's a big advantage for the house. But you cannot avoid the estate tax. Okay, you can only take one. And another thing is foreigner. Again, if you are foreigner, it's not good to invest real estate. It's not good. If you have 2 million, if you die, a house of 2 million, you have to pay half of it, or depends, at least 40% of the 1.94 million. 40% federal. And if you stay living state with estate tax, another. If you live in Massachusetts, you have to pay 16%. Total 56%, more than half of it. So if you're foreigner invest in United States, very bad. Okay. How to help kids to buy a house? I just say you have to follow the IRS rule. You cannot just like buy a house for your kids. It's a gift. And you can, of course, you can use a trust to buy. It's also a gift. And also you can help the kids to through the loan or whatever, this kind of things. This is a couple questions a lot of Chinese people wondering and always ask me about that. So I almost finished. Yeah, today just briefly, if we have any questions, I can ask them.
First of all, thank you. We have one or two questions, quickly. Come on. Any questions? Going once? Going twice?
I'll ask
Okay.
one then. So you mentioned about that the gift exemption, right? The gift exemption till end of next year would be decreased from 13.61 million to maybe 6.5 to 7 million. So when is the best time to do your irrevocable trust?
Yeah, a lot of people is even asking now because it's grandfather law. Before January 1st, 2026, you still have a 13.61. So super rich people saying, should I just put the big chunk of money now?
Right.
our suggestion is wait after this year's November, and we'll see. You don't have to rush. You still have 1 year almost. If Trump, we'll see a little bit more. Otherwise, we do suggest if Democrats come, we do
Latest
suggest.
maybe like
Yeah.
January next year,
Yeah.
right? Because
Next
it takes
year, yeah.
some time to
Yeah.
set up
Yeah,
everything.
we still have like more than 1 year, 1 year, 3 months to plan. So
Yeah.
we usually to hold a little bit, just hold another month,
Yeah.
see what's happened. But of course, even Trump go to later, it's still gonna be changed, okay? So basically, you have to.
Might be better, but.
Yeah, maybe better, yeah. Grandfather law, so you're always good. Some people say, okay, I take advantage right now. It's, I put a 13.6 million put in remote trust, buy huge life insurance and inherit to the next generation.